Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Max. My station's name is The Covered Caller. You can find me on Twitter at Max Convexity Man. And I guess that's about it. Welcome to the live stream. It's time for the afternoon live stream. I am about 5 minutes late. My apologies. What's going on, Jackson? You want a treat? I got a treat for you. I have a treat for you. Come here, Jackson. Come here, Jackson. Oh, come here. Oh, what a good dog. I had that planned perfect. All right. Let's see what the market's doing. Let's see what the market is doing. Man, that's an ugly look. I had to draw a new bullish zone down here on the chart just to give us a target. There should be buyers here. We'll see. There's been buyers here other times, and there was a huge bullish gap that still held from back from September 9th and 10th, two huge bullish gaps. So we'll see what happens. I mean, this is the last line of defense. It gets under here. It's under here. We're going to 640 on the SPY, and it could get worse from there too. But for starters, anyway. Hopefully that won't happen. It seems like I say that every day. I feel like a broken record. Let's look at the Qs. The Qs might have a similar area on their chart from that September. They do. And it's down a little. Well, they almost hit theirs too. Their area where there should be buyers there from September 9th, September 10th is 582, 583, something like that, which is about where they got today. Did we close on the lows? Yeah, looks like we closed on the lows too. That's never a good sign. That is never a good sign. Well, hang on. All right, sorry about that. I was watching the Cheney funeral. I thought it was just pictures of the presidents being seated, but I think it may have been a live stream or something, or maybe it was a recording. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Nothing like a good little depressing funeral music to get the day going. I need a drink after today. I need a drink after today. It was a bad day. I didn't end up buying the dip. It's just how FOMO works, though. I woke up this morning and I woke up a couple times during the middle of the night and checked the charts. Everything was blown up. So right when I woke up this morning, I thought, okay, as soon as the bell rings, I'm going to buy one of those three stocks that I was telling you guys about. And because I had FOMO, I was fearing out, I was missing, fearing that I was being greedy. I wanted to if it starts going the other way, I want to buy something. Anyway, thank gosh I held off. My FOMO kicked in, but then I realized, let's just wait till the end of the day, see what happens. Thank God I did. Because this Bitcoin situation is just not getting any better. That's ugly. That's ugly. Yeah. See, I drew the area where I thought there'd be buyers, and there darn sure wasn't. So, and the next area is down here at 75, 77. But I have heard other people make a case for 86 or 87, which is what we hit today. So maybe this is the low. Like I say, I sound like a broken record. All right. Well, let's get on with the rest of it. So let's check out the diversified divas. Today they're acting like divas. All right, so this is the 1 day change. SPY down 1.5, Q's down 2, or no, QLDY down 2, Q's down 2.2, or the Q's really down 2.2. I went jogging right at the end of the day. I didn't think they were down that much. I'm going to have to check that. Yeah, they're actually down 2.37. Jiminy criminy. All right. Well, um, the good news is QLDY, which is one of the three things I was thinking about buying this morning. I'm glad I held off. I can get it cheaper tomorrow morning. It was down less than the Qs were. This thing's a monster. I mean, we really haven't seen it much on the upside. Well, we have. It does well on the upside. It usually outperforms on the upside. This thing's just really good. It pays twice a week, which I don't care about, but a lot of you guys do, though. So, I mean, it could work. It could definitely work. It seems to protect capital pretty dang well. I mean, better than any of these other dogs. I mean, better than LFGY, better than ULTY, better than ULTI, better than Blocks, better than WPay, better than GPTY, better than Chippy, better than KYLD. And not just today, on a consistent basis. It seems to do it on a consistent basis. I think that is the next one I'm going to get whenever I decide to buy the dip. All right. Well, I mean, LFGY, it wasn't down that much compared to how much it usually is. ULTY did better than all these other ones. ULTI, Blocks, WPay, GPTY, Chippy. It's just one of those days. No one did well. Heck, even KYLD. KYLD led on the way down today, which isn't typical. KYLD's been holding up better, but anything can happen over one day. I've been in contact with Matt Holcomb, the manager of ULTI. I'm trying to get him scheduled like pretty quick, like tomorrow afternoon or anytime tomorrow. I've told him he could come on anytime. He's been on X and he's trying to make, I think he's trying to get on. Maybe I'm second on his list or something, or third. I don't know, but other people have been reaching out to him as well. But I would think he'd want to come on here because I'm the only one that's covering this, and certainly the only one that's talking about the changes he's made and understands what he's doing. He tweeted on X. I just want to read you what he tweeted. What he X'd. I mean, let's see. How am I going to find him? Some of you guys have already read this because some of you guys hit me up. Okay, so, and he's contacted me personally, but then I want to speak directly to everyone who's taken a look at, asked questions about, or invested in ULTI. From day one, we had some administrative issues around the fund that understandably caused frustration, confusion. That's why I thought he was short, but anyway, that was fake news. Anyway, despite the painstaking number of hours we ran through every phase in the lead up to launch, this is all getting better and better. My goal is for every aspect of ULTI to match the quality and intent of the strategy itself. We have something super unique here, which is true. There's no one else that's doing this strategy. There's nothing like ULTI with 20 stocks turning over weekly, and each stock starting with 4 or 5 option positions. Despite all the testing, I guess maybe it was inevitable, which strained some legacy systems in this TradFi world. I don't know what he's talking about there, but I think they had issues with the custodian. I mean, I don't know, with the custodian putting out, that they were short when they were long, I guess. Anyway, keep in mind, ULTI is not a steady traditional covered call fund. Yeah, you could say that again, but it's going to be good on the way up. It's just a little tough on the way down. Anyway, it's a volatile hedge fund style approach designed to target outsized upside and outsized distributions compared to traditional covered call strategies. And I think they're doing that. That kind of profile cuts both ways. When markets cooperate, it can be powerful. When they don't, the drawdowns can feel especially painful. Unfortunately, launch day coincided with the broad market downtrend, which is definitely true. The key to this strategy is active management. I'm actively managing the portfolio. I've already taken steps to reduce downside risk, which I've told you guys about here. Anyway, including adding another layer of puts this week, which you can see in the current holdings. Performance has been pressured by the sharp market pullback. Our focus is on positioning ULTI so that as markets stabilize and recover, the strategy is ready to capture the upside, and I can attest to that. It will capture upside. We're committed to improving the strategy post holidays. I look forward to seeing you on a number of X spaces. Oh, he said post holidays. Okay. I thought he was like in a hurry to appear. So that's after I saw this message. I texted him and said, I can get you on tomorrow if you want to, anyway, whatever. We'll see you post holidays, Matt. Have a good holiday. All right. So let's get back to the diversified divas. Anyway, Alt-I is acting like a diva for sure. Down 35%, blocks down 30, LFGY down 25, ULTY down 21, WPay down 17, K yield down 16. This is cumulative total return. GPTY down 14, Chippy down 11, really 12 basically if you round it. QLDY is a monster. I love QLDY. I've got to get some more. I have to get some more of that. Down 9. I mean, it's still not doing great. I mean, the Qs are down 7, but it's there's no free money. But this, it's whatever. Anyway, SPY down 4.33. Well, that's a bad week even for the SPY. I mean, just think retirement portfolios and everything are down 4.33% that just have the SPY in it. Anyway, dividend yield, of course, ULTY, that's the highest we'd expect it to be. And also I'd expect ULTI to be there, but it doesn't go X until tomorrow. I bet after tomorrow's dividend, it's right up there with ULTY and LFGY. WPay pays a high dividend, but a little bit more reasonable. Chippy a little bit behind that. Then we have blocks coming in at about 30%, 35% maybe. So it's paid 2% in like 2.5 weeks. So anyway, GPTY pays 30 to 35% on an annual basis. QLDY pays 30 to 35% on an annual basis. They do pay twice a week, but and ULTI and K yield, those are artificially low. ULTI is artificially low. K yield has had 2 dividends so far, so it's just a little bit behind. But Howard manages dividends. Howard sees that some of his option trades have been getting their butt kicked, and he's probably maybe holding some of the dividend back. He'll pay less dividend if he has to help protect the NAV. Yeah, I think he's committed to that. So in any event, that's fine. That is fine. So let's go to my portfolio. I was down 2% on my model portfolio today, which hurts because I've been defensive as I can be. I'm 18% in cash, and I have 7% salty, and I have 13%. I have 38% that's either cash or inverse, and I still down 2%. And it's because of my fear and greed. I was fearful that I didn't have enough blocks. So I doubled my blocks position a few weeks ago, and I'm just getting murdered on that. I'm getting murdered on KYLD. It's not KYLD's fault. I bought it the day it came out, and it's down. I've taken my lumps. WPay, same thing. It's not WPay's fault, but I bought it about 2 weeks ago. Because I wanted in on some of that sweet leveraged upside. Market's just not cooperating. BITK, same thing. I'm getting crushed in that because I really thought at 105 to 100 was going to be the buy the dip area in Bitcoin. So I got some around there. Well, shows what I know, right? And then K gold and K silver. At least K gold was flat today, but K silver, which is supposed to be a hedge or whatever, and gold too, have also been getting killed. Everything. So they're just taking out and shooting everything. I'm glad I don't have much Misty. Look at that thing down 7% today. But yeah, blocks lost 5.4%, and it's 10% of my portfolio. That right there cost me a fourth of my loss. Blocks is responsible for a fourth of the 2% I'm down. And then K yield from Howard. Thanks, Howard. You're also responsible for a half of what I'm just joking, Howard. It's not your fault. But that K yield's also costing me another half. So between K yield and blocks, that's half of why I'm down. Then ULTYs, costing me 35, 40 basis points. So just those 3 right there add up to down, 1 and something. Anyway. All right. Well, I'll stop. I need to stop licking my wounds. Stop griping, right? So we've looked at charts. The VIX the pros versus Joe's indicator is pretty bearish. It's as bearish as it could be. It's as bearish as it was back in February, March. I made a little change to it, but the moving averages have crossed. Yeah, and it's under the moving average, trending down. I mean, yeah, that's as bearish as it can be. So it's no longer yellow. This is red. I mean, this is red. Now it's been red before. It was red back. Sometimes it gives a false signal or whatever. But that's like like well, yeah, it gives false signals. I mean, it's been on red alert a couple of other times, and we were closer to the bottom than we were at the top. We'll see, but that's not encouraging either. Let's look at the index buffer report. I hope I'm sharing the screen. I am sharing the screen. Okay. Let's look at the index buffer report. And I think feet and 5 year getting murdered today. I bet you they are. I bet you they are. Probably SFAL too. That's ugly. That's ugly. Yep, the feet and 5e doctrine holds true again. Look at that. Feet's down more than blocks. Feet's down more than blocks and ULTI combined, or about the same, Y-SPY is taking it. Y-SPY in the bounce yesterday, Y-SPY did really well. Selling leveraged options gives you a little boost, but leverage cuts both ways, and there you have it. Y-SPY is down. Now the ones that are, Matt in that tweet or that X or whatever you call it, I wish they never would have changed the name. X is kind of a cool name. I mean, it's a cool name, but what do you say? I X'd in I guess you say my X post, tweet's better. But anyway, in the tweet, he said we're not a conventional covered call fund. So let me show you what conventional covered call funds are actually like compared to blocks and ULTI and even K yield and ULTY are way safer because they just sell fully capped covered calls. Usually the fully capped is bad on the upside, but it really helps you on the downside. So look at all these fully capped ones. SPY-T, they didn't catch all the downside. XDT is a conventional fund. They had a little bit of buffer. SDTY, it's a conventional fund. They had a little bit of buffer. T-SPY caught a little bit of extra downside, but T-SPY is a good one. We'll give them a break. WDT from Defiance had only caught about half the downside. Conventional covered call funds have their place because the buffer comes in handy on big down days. You can tell the conventional ones because they're down a little bit less than their parent, and you can tell the unconventional ones like blocks. Actually, some of these are conventional too. It's not the only thing that matters, but it is one of the factors, but it's just one of those days where everything washed out. I mean, Chippy and GPTY are as good as they get, and they're, and they're down. Triple QT is good. It's down more than the parent. So it's just one of those days. WPay is a good fund, but it's down. YMAX, they're just taking everything out and shooting it. As soon as I saw that gap close this morning, SPY had a huge gap. As soon as NVIDIA went from green to red, and as soon as that gap closed, it was over. I mean, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. I was like, oh, shoot, here we go again. The clue that might happen, even before it happened, was the fact that Bitcoin was making new lows. Remember this morning, I said that might actually... I said, we're up for now, but we'll see how long that lasts or something. So sure enough. Anyway, all right, well, let's look at the yield max buffer report. I mean, that's ugly. I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to pick out the ones that are getting more downside than the reference asset, than the parent. Well, of course, it's YMAX. It's the ones we've already talked about, but it's also OARC. I mean, a lot of these are getting some buffer because they're the boring, covered call funds. But anyway, all right, well, what are you guys doing today? 26 of you guys. Hey, Rod's here in the house. No, I guess not. I guess there is no free money after all. Anyway, hey, Dan, how are you doing? Dan's been helping me on some computer issues. I like to give Dan a public shout out. Dan doesn't care about the the glory or whatever. But Dan's a good friend, and he's helping me with some computer stuff, and I appreciate that, Dan. Yeah, bad week to launch a fund, and they launched a fund. And actually, let's look at the exact timing on that. So let's bring up ULTI. I'm not trying to pick on ULTI. But I could have put in K yield also. I just want to see exactly when they came out. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's overlay ULTI. We could use the Qs or IBIT for their reference asset. But let's just look at IBIT, and we can look at, we could also probably look at Russell also, but no, I didn't want to do that. What are you doing? I'll start it. All right, so right here is Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin, or it's IBIT. I know it's not Bitcoin, but I think you can just about double, right? Well, not really double. You can't really double IBIT, but I guess you could double IBIT and take off 10 or something. So right here, yeah, that looks like it's about right. Right here looks like Bitcoin was at about 100. A 62 double, it's 120, or take off 20, whatever. Or is it 110? Bitcoin was at 105, 110 for a little while, and it was going to, it looked good and stuff. But anyway, then Bitcoin dropped. So did ULTI. Then we had a little rally right here, and so did ULTI. They had an up day. Okay, and then boom, and then Bitcoin sold all the way off, and so did ULTI. So you could also let's look at the SPY. See, all right. So the SPY was at 683, pretty much went sideways, and ULTI lost. I mean, granted, I'm not making excuses, but I mean, SPY went down and then kind of sideways, but now it's fallen out of bed. I don't really think SPY is that good of a proxy for it. Maybe AIQ or maybe Russell would be a better proxy. Probably Qs would be the best proxy because they have a lot of tech. All right, so let's look at Qs. But yeah, it's been a bad 3 weeks to bring out a fund. And you can see here, the days the Qs rallied was right here. These guys rallied too. I mean, of course, because they're bullish positions, but then the Q started selling off and they started selling off again also. We could also use AIQ. This is just an AI fund. There's a bunch of AI in these funds also. AI has also gone straight down, right? And we could also, let's look at the Russell, because there's also some small stocks in these funds, some more speculative stocks. So we don't want to do that. But heck yeah, it was a bad week to bring out a fund. Russell, I mean, you can see right there. I mean, Russell rallied a little bit right when this rallied a little bit, but it's just, it has not been a fun time. All right. So what else? So we can see what else is. You responded to his post. Okay, RJ. I'm doing good. I responded to him too. I told him he could come on. He's welcome on our channel anytime he wanted. I told him I'd make time for him. I mean, I would have canceled this broadcast and done a live with him if he wanted to come on and explain what's going on. Yeah, I know it. We aren't even to Friday yet, and tomorrow's OPEX. So here's the thing. So a few days ago was VIX expiration, or there's another name for it besides VIX. But anyway, the market is traditionally, for structural reasons, between VIX and Option X and OPEX, VIXpiration, that's what they call it. Between VIXpiration and OPEX, the market is traditionally weak. People that study, dealer positioning and gamma and all that kind of stuff, this is a weak time in any event. Sometimes the option expiration does cause volatility, but sometimes it can change the trend also. So maybe we'll look back and we'll say, okay, it sold off big on OPEX, and then we finally put in a bottom and started rallying. Sometimes OPEX will mark the end of the latest trend. Lots of times on the upside. I think this summer we had a big up month and we had an OPEX and that was about the high. And then we started selling off past that. We could look at that sometime. They say Bitcoin bottom 77. Okay. Well, I've had that on the chart for a while, but I've also had 90 on there. So I was hoping it would stop at 90. But yeah, Mike Coe, when I heard him talk yesterday, he was talking 77 too, 75. How did it? Yeah, I was down. You were up 10%. Great job, Grumpy. I was off too. Oh, just kidding. Yeah. You were, your blood pressure was up 10% probably, right? Or your, I don't know. All right. My only green position today was MTF LFP. I mean, how did my hedges do? I don't think they were. Why Triple Q was up a half? Oh, look at that, Salty. Heck yes. I knew I loved you, Salty. Look, and that's 7% of the portfolio. So 7 times 2 is like 4. That made up 14 basis points. Now, granted, when I added up all these, they were down like 1.5, but that took off a little bit of that 1.5. That dropped it down to like 1.35. And then Y Triple Q, dropped it down to like 1.2. It cushioned it somewhat. But then all these other things kicked in too. I mean, BITK cost me 15 basis points. Anyway. All right. Well, but yeah, we definitely can't retire yet. Well, good job on your only green position. That's that Japanese. I've looked it up a million times. I know what it is. I always forget. I know it's overseas, and they do. I don't know. I forget now. But I know it's in Japan. Anyway, good job. VIX was at 28. Yeah. And I don't really look at the raw level of VIX too much. As you know, I study the ratio of VIX to VIVIX, and I also look at VIX to SPY. VIX to SPY can spot divergences, but it's a very similar type discipline. And it was, they're still putting on hedges. And like I say, it really couldn't be any more bearish on the ratios. So, I mean, I still think we're going to bounce, but I almost thought about dumping some blocks today, cutting the blocks position in half, or maybe just dumping BITK and picking it up at 77 or something. But I didn't do it. I chickened out. I should wait for a rally to do that. I try to sell stuff if I sell something, I try to sell on an up day. This morning would have been the perfect time. That just shows you how your emotions work. I woke up and I was thinking about the money I'm not making and that I'm not going to underperform you guys, and that I'm, and like, oh, the market's, it's happy days are here again, and I got to get something bullish. I've got to add something. And thank God I didn't. Thank God I took a deep breath and decided to wait till the end of the day. But where I was wrong, everything's been flashing red for weeks or for a week. I should have, when I saw that rally this morning, I should have taken that opportunity to dump BITK and then try to pick it up at a lower level or cut my blocks position in half or something. Blocks is murdering me. I mean, I'm sorry if it read. Yeah, 1031 they started. So, and it's the 18th. So it's been 3 weeks now, basically, right? I mean, tomorrow will be 3 weeks. K yield and ULTI on the same day. Yeah, and that's when this graphic starts. This diversified divas, all this right here, this rolling. I mean, we never really look at this. I don't really like this too much. It's kind of cool though. You can see, but yeah, that when we started everything the same day on the same day, we acted as if everything was a new fund on that day. I want to put GRNI in here. I think GRNI could be one of these types of funds because it's going to have meme stocks and stuff. I really don't know how to do it though, because I don't want to start it fresh and put it in here because then it won't be able to compare it. So maybe I can just start this graphic fresh every week from now on. We'll start at the first of the week or something. And that way I can pop GRNI in there. I really want to pop Vibe in here whenever Vibe comes out, VYBE. I want any type of hedge fund, diversified hedge fund thing, to be in here. But yeah, anyway, it sucks. Never trade a new fund on Halloween. Correct. What does your AI bot say? It says there's an AI bubble. Yeah. Bitcoin crash is caused by a coding error on stablecoin that triggered a March. I did not know that. Really, RJ? Huh. I did not know that. AI told me DeepSeek started it all. Man, I think it's the Democrats' fault. I'm blaming the. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm blaming. I'm blaming Oklahoma State football fans. Anyway, all right. This is what Tom Lee said, but Bitcoin keeps dropping. Tom Lee's talking his book. Tom Lee doesn't know what he's doing. Cancel Tom Lee. We're going to cancel Tom Lee. All right. The stable coin should have been $1, but it printed 65 cents. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it triggered margin calls. I mean, because a lot of people trade those coins on 10x margin and fight, and crazy. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess that's a better answer than just everyone hates this and the wells are selling, because if it's some kind of tech, maybe it's a flash crash the last couple of weeks or something. I mean, that's kind of bullish, really, if that's really what it is. And it's not because people like Tom Lee are, hitting the exit sign and Satoshi's, not, but that's what it looks like to be, because every rally just gets its head chopped off. This just has all the hallmarks of a terrible market. And I didn't just start saying that. I've been saying that for, a week and a half. Anyway, you see Tom Lee said MicroStrategies is a buy at this level and Bitcoin could bottom at 77. Well, thanks for not. I should have done my BITK. Gosh darn it, because that's 20,000 under here. That's another 20%. And BITK is half my or 5% of my portfolio. What's 5% times 20? What's 5 times 20? That's going to cost me another percent off my or gosh darn it. Trading houses somehow have algorithms linked downward. Bitcoin forced them to sell off today. Well, MicroStrategy is a hedge for all exchanges. Yeah. All right. Bitcoin was dead since October 10th. Tom Lee said it takes 8 weeks for the drop to wash out. Well, we're getting close. Well, no, we aren't. We still have another month to go. Well, yeah. We have another 3 weeks to go then. Nicholas, I don't know if I've seen you in here before. You caught another show. Okay, maybe I have. Maybe you just haven't commented, or maybe I forgot your name, but I appreciate you for being here, Mr. Hardiman. Actually, I remember the Hardiman part of it, because I have a friend from Oklahoma that's last name is Hardiman, and I do remember you being in here. You wrote Santa Claus today and asked for a December rally. Wow. Yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice. What's a good balance for ULTY? What do you mean, Grateful Trader? I don't understand on good balance. You mean like a good buy the dip area or something? I don't understand, but put it in the comments. I'll try to answer that, Ethan. Your AI is Perplexity. Yeah, my AI is Claude, and I really like Claude. I use Gemini also, but Gemini is really actually, I complain about Google, but I've heard that Notebook LM is really powerful. I want to start using a large language model, and I want to actually start loading all my spreadsheets into a large language model and teaching it this business, and then having it help me generate or I don't know, maybe help me come up with ideas, but I haven't learned how to do that yet, but evidently that's the big deal, is to get a large language model and train it and stuff. So I'm just getting started on this. I remember I was the first person in my family to learn the internet. I've always been kind of a tech nerd, and I was on CompuServe, and what was the other one? Even before the internet, and taught it to my dad and taught it to my sister. Then I was the first one to get into Blackberries and iPhones, and then I got into jailbreaking iPhones, and then my dad jailbroke his iPhone, and we used to trade hacks back and forth. That was back when iPhones used to suck and you couldn't run Flash on them. And that used to be a big deal, because once you have Flash, then you can watch YouTube and stuff. I know that seems ancient, but I've always liked to tinker with tech. anyway, and stuff like that. All right, when the market took a dump in February, you were way down on ULTY, but ULTY recovered faster than anything else. ULTI will probably do the same. ULTI will make ULTY's recovery look. I mean, yeah, it'll dwarf it. But yeah, ULTY, if the market recovers, even though ULTY is totally capped, it's also paying 80%. So if the market recovers enough, the market goes up, ULTY's NAV will be steady, and the 80% will really go to the bottom line instead. So of course, yeah. Now, but ULTY, on the other hand, is going to be more like blocks. It should shoot up whenever the market recovers. I mean, it should shoot up, and so should QLDY. Those are the three that are physically uncapped, or the least capped anyway. QLDY, blocks, and ULTI. Here's a bit of an eye popper. Dollar for dollar, the IEF, the bond ETF, the SPY of the bond world, is up more than T-SPY, constant winner, SPY ETF in the 6 month time. Really? Well, okay, let's think about that. The past 6 months haven't been great for stocks especially because of this recent sell-off. The market went up and then it went down, and so. But bonds have been, because interest rates have been going down, bonds have been bid, I guess. And of course, I'd say it hasn't been great, but especially the past months erased some of the gains, and T-SPY, just like everything else, is partially capped, so they're uncapped at night, but just like every one of these funds, they underperform to some extent. So yeah, I could believe that. IEF. Oh, I didn't do the past 6 months. Well, look, T-SPY's a beast. T-SPY's a beast. November, so January, February, March, April, May. Just go since I'll go since June or something. That's a good look for T-SPY right there, but that's back to 2024. Hang on. Well, on this one, it doesn't look like that, but the bonds have been bid, because bonds have very low volatility and stuff, and in the past 5 months are up 5%. I mean, that's really good for bonds, T-SPY, even with the recent pullback since June, is still doing really well. And maybe I misread that or something. You were the Alt-Y 50% guy. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot about you. I remember now, though. Hit the like and subscribe if you don't mind. Oh, remember, not financial advice. I forgot to read my disclaimer. I'll do the disclaimer before the end. Trend alert: SPY's down more than the IEF midterm bonds over the last month. Okay, yeah, I'll buy that. Let's just go back and run that. It's been a rough month for the SPY. It's, yeah. Bonds are super steady. I mean, they're bonds. Now, it doesn't mean sometimes they can be too steady. Like I always say, steady can be a bad thing also. You wouldn't want to have 100% of your portfolio in bonds. I mean, you would way underperform. But a little steadiness, it can be a good thing. You were the guy up 50% in ULTY. Okay. Well, how did you do that? I mean, did you have it from the beginning, or did you buy the dip in April? Because I was up 21% and I thought I sold it. You meant at the highest points you were up 50%. I bought mine too late. I should have got mine in last year. I mean, whenever. I should have got mine in October, as soon as the prospectus changed. But I had to wait and see what happened in the election, because I thought Kamala was going to win and it was going to crash the market. Well, I was wrong about that. And then the market took off, and I kept waiting for a dip to buy. And then by December, I decided just to buy it, and I bought ULTY at pretty much an all-time high, along with Misty and AMD and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, yeah, good uncorrelated hedges is a good way to put that. YQQQ, I like that one a lot. Was today a bull trap with the surges? Yeah, I think it's looking like a bull trap. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think NVIDIA trapped a bunch of people, you know. My rule of thumb I love just playing gaps in the SPY. When the SPY makes a bullish gap, if it stays till the end of the day, that's a pretty good sign. And if it's that you can probably play in the direction of the trend. But if a gap fills in the first hour or two, which this one did, the faster a gap fills, the more bull trappy it is. Now, lots of times we have downside gaps and it'll look terrible. Something will happen overnight. Trump will tweet or something, and the market will be down 2%. This happened a few weeks ago. Market's down 2%. It opens up, and by 10:30, it's filled the gap. Well, that's almost always a bear trap. But yeah, today was definitely a bull trap. WMTI did okay due to Walmart. Yeah, Walmart hit earnings. That's good. I'm glad that one. Seeking Alpha, Wall Street slide likely down by signals in crypto fund strategy. Yeah, Tom Lee, I gotcha. So you've been trading, Fish has been trading T-SPY, but it's been dropping since last week. Everything's been dropping since last week. Does anyone know of anything that's bullish that's been up since last week? I mean, GOOW and anything Google based has been hot, but even it's dropped. There's been one or two things. Let's just go look. This is a good time to get out. Stocktools.app. Now I have an affiliate code here, just in case you guys didn't know. This is a great piece of software. My friend at the station, Rob, is the developer. He used to work for NVIDIA, and then he used to work for he's retired at a young age, and he is a sharp guy, and he's an option bro. Anyway, but let's look at the past week and see if who's held up the best over the past week. Inverses don't count. All right. Well, YQQQ. Okay, so we don't have anything. That's just yield max though. Hang on, let me see. I wish Rob would make this default to everything. I always have to select off and then click back on it. I wish the default was just everything, but I don't know. Maybe some other people want just the default to be yield max. It's whatever. But he does. He will take. He listens to these shows and will switch stuff if I'm complaining about it or. All right. So yeah, past week. So here we have it. So inverses don't count. So fiat is up 12%. That's good. Winter is up 8%. There it is. GOW for the past week. It's held up the best. It's up 5%. Goop from Curve is up 4.2. GUI. So it's Google. Google's the common denominator, and Broadcom, AVGW's up. And weak. Look at that from Roundhill. I think that's like a T-bill fund or something, or money market, some type of something or another that I'm not interested in. But no, I think it's like T-bills or something. But anyway, that's good. Cash I think that's some kind of T-bill thing also. Money market, T-bill, whatever. Fixed income product is what I'm trying to say. Then everything else is down. Now let's see for the month. Now, for the month, we probably, Google and Broadcom and stuff have done pretty well. But yeah, for the week, pretty much anything everyone had, doesn't matter how good it is. It doesn't matter if it's triple QI. It doesn't matter if it's T-SPY. It doesn't matter what it is. I love GPTY. I always talk about how that's beating all the ones that are supposedly the good ones. Well, it's down. They're all down. Chippy, it doesn't matter what it is. Biggie's down. They're all down. Okay, so for the past month, winter and fiat, of course, but then we have, all the Google proxies, Crash and YQQQ, of course. But then we have Apple's had a good month. XOMO. Oil has been doing good lately. Berkshire is holding up. IAUI. Gold over the past month is still up. At least that one gold one is. Then we have the other usual suspects, the real high quality ones, Broadcom, Apple, NVIDIA, Berkshire, ExxonMobil. None of these have any Bitcoin mining exposure. I don't think. You know, Apple doesn't even have an AI product yet. They're so far behind the scenes, but but that's fine. That's fine on days like today. The closest one to Bitcoin adjacent would be NVIDIA, but they do a lot of other stuff too. Well, there's good old XYLD from Global X. But let's look at the day. I don't think anything's up on the day other than the inverses. I'll get back to your questions after this. I just like to check this. Sometimes there's stuff that's not on any of my reports that I wouldn't notice if I didn't check this. Yeah, Goop's up on the day. Good job, Howard. Howard's a good one right there. Look at AAPY, Apple, TLTI. That's bonds. Bonds have been bid lately. IAUI, Bondi is up on the day. Anyway, all right, I'll get back to the questions. Oh, yes, at the height, 50%, but you DCA'd below trend line. Okay, yeah, with and margin too. Yeah, of course. I didn't use any margin. I felt good to get out at 21% up. Let's look at what I would be if I hadn't got out till now. But mine's pretty easy to look at because I know the dates I bought it. I bought it on December 12th, right at the all-time high. Story of my life. I had FOMO, though. It looked like it was going higher. I thought it was going to go higher near the end of last year. Same thing happened to me last year. I was like, Santa Claus rally. Let's get some ULTY. Anyway, and then I bought some in April. We won't worry about that. We'll just look at the initial. And see my initial investment would have gone from 9 to 4, but paid a $5 dividend. And on the initial investment, I'd still be up for it, but I dripped, so I'd really be up. And because it hasn't done very well, the drip is actually hurting you on this one. Anyway, but I'm up with the drip. I'd still be up like 1% on the initial position, but I added some in April. Let's see what that one would be up. I added some April 9th, I think. 8th or 9th, I forget. A light rain started in 5 minutes. We hadn't had any rain. It's hot. Boy, it's really hot here. It's been hot. We haven't had a frost. One day it got down to like 37 or something, but the leaves are still on the tree. They're still green. So yeah, my initial position. But I sold, that's how I was up 21% because I bought more and I sold a few weeks ago while this was still up, and I was dripping in this one too. I'm surprised drip didn't help me. I'm surprised drip didn't help me in this case. In fact, I don't know though, but it was down there. Maybe not. Anyway, so when I was dripping here, so the drip part was up 16%. And I sold it a few weeks ago when it was still up 21%, but you average that one with the other one. And I looked at my cost average and I was up 21, but yeah, you did way better than me. You probably bought the dip a few more times. You deleveraged quickly. Good job. I thought I did too, but I don't know. I have 38% in inverse and in cash, and I'm still down 2% today. And I have some gold and stuff too. I thought gold has been coming down lately. My K gold's been killing me lately. Consumer staples was flat. That's a good one to know. Consumer staples was flat. Everybody reportedly had issues with ODT today. Okay, you're DCing right now. Good job, Nicholas. All right, I'm at the end of the comments. Okay, so what are we going to do tonight as far as the daily factor goes? I haven't even thought about it yet. What is it? It's Thursday night. What should we do? Maybe, I'm in love with these index funds. Let's do the Qs and the SPY based, or maybe just, there's a lot of those. Maybe we'll just do the Q based index funds. And then tomorrow night we'll have we'll have closed-end fund Friday. And then Saturday's SPY Saturday. Yeah, so tonight's Q Thursday, closed-end fund Friday, and then we'll have SPY Saturday. Then Sunday, well, then also the top 20 will be this weekend, but that's a different show. And then Sunday, I guess, will be Dealer's Choice or something, right? Dylan's in the house. Hey there, Dylan. How are you doing? Dylan gave me a super sticker last night. I've never got a super sticker before. I really don't get that many super chats. I got 2 or 3 last week, but I'm not a big because I guess the way to get super chats is make people give them to you to answer questions, or people. I guess maybe as you get bigger, people will give them to you so you see their question. But I'll just sit here and answer any reasonable question that anyone asks me. But anyway, I appreciate that, Dylan. I do appreciate that. If I missed any of these questions, I'm sorry. All right, what time is it? It's 4:57. We've been going an hour. I'll let you guys go. And I'll be back this evening with, we'll be back at 8 o'clock Eastern with Q Thursday, NASDAQ Thursday. How does that sound? Yeah, only ready the donation. Only read the, well, I know what you mean. They only read the ones who donate to them or something. Yeah, they just pretend like they don't see them. I mean, I'd be embarrassed to do that. If somebody's here in my live stream and especially if it's a reasonable question, if somebody asks me, do you think Jay should go to jail for a Ponzi scheme or something, I might just skip over it. But I'm saying if somebody says, do you think that YieldMax could fix their problems if they did X, Y, and Z? That's a reasonable question. It doesn't have, I don't care if people love YieldMax, but I answer any reasonable question. I figured it out. All right. So be here at 8 o'clock tonight. All right. I'll see you guys at 8 and we'll check out these Q-based ETFs. Who do you think's going to win? TDAC? TDAC's a good one. Triple QI's a good one. So we'll see. I bet it's probably going to be one of those. It could also be GPIQ. GPIQ is really good also, and we never hardly talk about it. I bet you it's one of those 3. All right, guys. Take care. I'll see you tonight. Peace.